Listen to part of a lecture in a world history class. The professor is talking about mass migrations of people.
In the 19th century, there were several periods when large numbers of people moved from one place to another around the world. In many cases, people moved to another continent. These mass migrations were on a much larger scale than any previous migrations in history. One major movement was from Europe to the Americas, Australia, and Africa. This migration of Europeans involved around 60 million people over 100 years. Another mass migration was from Russia to Siberia and Central Asia. Another was from China, India, and Japan to Southeast Asia. These large movements of people were made possible by the new cheap and fast means of transportation, specifically railroads and steamships. Another important factor was the rapid growth in banking and capital, by which large investors financed a lot of the settlement. In some places, immigrants were given free land and other benefits if they settled there. This is what encouraged a lot of people, both immigrant and native-born, to move westward in the United States and Canada. Thus, most regions of the U.S. and Canada were populated by the end of the 19th century. The majority of the people in these mass migrations came from the lower social and economic classes of society. The immigrants were motivated mainly by the hope of a better life for themselves and their children. Since most of the immigrants were unskilled workers, their main contribution to their new countries was the labor they supplied. It was the hard work and high hopes of the immigrants that contributed to the economic growth of their new countries.
Using points and examples from the lecture, describe the mass migrations of people in the 19th century, and explain why these migrations occurred.